What's good, YouTube, man? It's your boy KB Reacts, and I'm back with another video, man. Today we have, this is not the same Cleveland Cavaliers, man. As y'all may know, bro, my GOAT, James Harden, has been traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I think he about maybe 4 or 5 games in. And, yeah, man, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. Me personally, I'm calling this right now. So whenever the NBA finals or playoffs or something come, we can come back to this moment and I can post a clip of me calling it. The Cleveland Cavaliers are winning the NBA championship. I'm personally, I'm not like a crazy Cleveland Cavalier fan, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm a James Harden fan. And I truly believe the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to win the finals, bro. But without further ado, let's get in the video.
James Harden, historically, his biggest knock, his biggest criticism.
The playoffs game?
Correct. I do think that being intentional to start the games well, but also finish, especially in your first game, was huge. It wasn't just James Harden, it was also Donovan Mitchell, because a lot of eyes are going to be on Don as well.
That one on Harden was so smooth. I ain't lying.
But maybe that's better.
That Cleveland Cavalier jersey.
A little bit more experience.
James Harden's second game as a Cavalier, Denver on the road, without Evan Mobley, the same Nuggets team that bounced his Clippers in Game 7 last season, a game where he scored 7 points. This time, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and the game time
different, bro.
with 32 seconds left. Cleveland won, and suddenly, this trade doesn't look so crazy anymore.
Harden now, leaned on by Hardaway. James Harden goes to work, steps on your title down.
Bro, like, he's just different, bro.
The Cleveland Cavaliers just traded Darius Garland, the first real piece of their rebuild, the guy who was there before the hype, before the expectations, before the playoffs.
And Garland, he's a great player.
36-year-old James Harden. At first glance, this looks completely insane. Another franchise panic move, the kind that sets a team back half a decade. But that's not what this is, because behind this trade is a countdown clock. Mitchell's future is uncertain, the roster had stalled, and almost stopped being good enough a long time ago. Whether this works or not,
what team was Mitchell on before this?
Cleveland. Before we get into what
The
Harden
Jazz.
brings, you have to understand what Cleveland
He looked
was
better in
actually
Cleveland.
dealing with. The Garland situation was worse than most people realize.
And Garland looked better as a Clipper.
2019, Garland became an all-star before Donovan Mitchell even arrived. He was supposed to be the foundation. Then Cleveland added Mitchell, and suddenly they had 2 guards under 6'3" sharing the backcourt. That came with real consequences. Last season, when Garland was on the floor, the Cavs posted a plus 9.9 net rating over 2,090 non-garbage time minutes. Offense was elite, nearly 10 points better than opponents. Defense was fine, nothing special but solid. Here's where it gets interesting though. When Garland sat over 1,330 minutes, Cleveland actually got better. Net rating jumped to plus 12. The offense dipped slightly, but the defense took off. They were 7.2 points per 100 possessions better than opponents defensively. With Garland and Mitchell together, a plus 9.3 net rating. Garland alone, a plus 10.5. Mitchell alone, a plus 12.9. Every version of this team defended better without Garland on the floor. This season...
Hey, how do y'all feel about the trade? Y'all think Cleveland gonna elevate with James Harden, or they should have stuck with Darius Garland? It's too late now, but let me know.
Numbers got uglier. With Garland playing, Cleveland posted a 118 defensive rating. They were outscored by 3 points per 100 possessions, the worst mark of any Cavalier with at least 500 minutes. At that point, the data was screaming. Garland had become a defensive liability, one of the weakest defenders, not just in Cleveland's rotation, but across the league. Then there's the size issue. At 6'1" next to Mitchell, 6'2", Cleveland had a backcourt that history says almost never win championships. The Garland-Mitchell pairing worked in the regular season, they won games, the offense looked great, but when the playoffs arrived, it fell apart. Every single year. The same defensive weaknesses showed up again and again. For every boost they gave the offense,
Tyrese Halliburton last year in the playoffs was crazy, bro.
Teams with 2 undersized guards made everything harder, and that imbalance played a major role in 3 straight postseason disappointments. And availability made things even worse. Garland's injury history goes back years. Ankle problems in 2021, a back injury in 2022, then everything piling up in 2023.
It's the New Balances, bro. Go get you some Nikes.
And a fractured jaw requiring surgery and put him on a liquid-only diet.
What?
24-25 was actually the healthiest season of his career, 75 games, but it still didn't last. A toe injury followed him into the playoffs, where he aggravated it against Miami. Even after off-season surgery, the issue carried into the 25-26
New Balances,
season
bro.
and limited him to just 26 games. So when Cleveland's front office sat down for what insiders called an unemotional, no-excuses assessment in the weeks before the deadline, they arrived at the same conclusion anyone looking closely would reach. Then add the pressure of Mitchell's upcoming free agency. His contract could expire at the end of next season, creating real urgency. Mitchell loves Cleveland, he's said that, but he also wants to compete for championships, and he'd be justified looking elsewhere if this team couldn't operate at the highest level.
Grown-up hurts,
Facts, bro.
0 grown-up stress.
Because, like, what are we hooping for at this point, man? We got to go get a championship, bro. Hey, I'll take back what I said, bro. I think I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan this year. Strictly off the Harden trade, though. No.
Polarizing trades in franchise history. Darius Garland and a second-round pick for James Harden. When you lay out the problem like that, the Harden trade stops looking crazy and starts looking like the only move that made sense. This is Harden's 6th team in 17 NBA seasons. He's 36 years old, coming off 2.5 years with the Clippers, and at this stage of his career, the question is always the same. How much does he still have? But here's the thing. Everywhere Harden goes, he still makes teams better. Cleveland believes he gives them their best chance to compete right now. Let's start with production.
Right.
Harden's averaging 25.4 points and 8.1 assists this season compared to Garland's 18 points. He led the Clippers to a 15-4 stretch over their last 19 games together. He's past his prime. Sure,
and I ain't gonna lie, bro. I did watch the last game, bro. I feel like Harden is like, it's like bonding with the team already, if you get what I'm saying. Like they got chemistry. Like he's real. He putting in work. Like he's doing anything for the team to win, bro. And that's the type of player that you need on your squad to win a championship, bro.
Made 3rd team All-NBA. More importantly,
no cap, bro.
Available.
Like I see the elevation in his game, bro.
44 of the Clippers' first 47 this year before being rested ahead of the trade. Cleveland didn't have Garland for 25 of their first 51 games, and last year he missed 4 of 9 playoff games with his lingering toe injury. Then there's size. At 6'5" and 220 pounds, Harden immediately changes Cleveland's backcourt math. Neither he nor Garland is an elite defender, but Harden's frame makes him easier to hide in defensive schemes. Teams attacked Garland because they knew he couldn't contest bigger guards or wings. Harden can at least hold his own against most guards and even some forwards. That size matters on offense too. One of Cleveland's biggest problems earlier this season was a lack of rim pressure. No guard who could consistently get downhill and finish at the basket. Too much side-to-side movement, too many pull-up threes. The Cavs ranked just 16th in attempts at the rim. Harden changes that immediately. He still has that rare combination of strength, touch, and stop-start control that lets him create angles and get to the cup. This season, he ranks 9th in drives per game at 14.8, sits in the 60th percentile for shots at the rim among point guards, and finishes at 66%, 71st percentile. That alone
you moving different for sure, bro.
Then there's the pick and roll game. Cleveland hasn't been a heavy pick and roll team, but with 2 strong bigs and Harden running the show, that's about to change in a big way. This is a guy who's been one of the best pick and roll.
I wonder if I'm gonna get copyrighted off these
over a decade. You can see in his debut win over Sacramento, 23 points and 8 assists, but the box score didn't capture half of it. He was consistently delivering the ball to guys rolling to the rim, whether it was Jarrett Allen, Jalen Tyson, or Craig Porter. He handled traps calmly, accepted pressure, and released the ball at exactly the right moment. By the end of that game, it was obvious. Cleveland were building a new system around Harden's pick-and-roll mastery, and the momentum carried over just 2 nights later against a much tougher opponent, the Denver Nuggets, on their home court. In a hostile environment and without key big man Evan Mobley, The new-look Cavs pulled out a gritty 119-117 victory. Harden was once again a central figure, hitting the game-tying three with 32 seconds remaining and posting 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Perhaps most impressively, he added 3 blocks, showcasing the defensive versatility his size brings. The trio of Harden, Mitchell, and Jarrett Allen combined for 76 points, proving they could carry the team to a win against the league's best. He also changes how teams defend Mitchell. With Garland and Mitchell both under 6'3", opponents felt comfortable sending aggressive doubles. They knew Cleveland couldn't always punish it. With Harden on the floor, doubling Mitchell becomes way more dangerous. You can't leave Harden open, and if you double Harden, he's going to make you pay almost every time. This season, the Cavs have lived and died by Mitchell. With him on the floor, it's a plus 6.6 net rating.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
and negative 3.3.
why is people saying like this trade is bad, bro? This literally like perfect, picture perfect, bro.
A guy who can
for the Cavaliers
and others on almost every possession.
Cause I feel like Harden still got a couple more years in.
Stylistically, Cleveland plays a motion-heavy, transition-oriented system under Kenny Atkinson. Harden has thrived in slower, isolation-heavy offenses for most of his career. Somewhere, there's going to have to be a middle ground. Both sides will have to adjust. But Harden's done this before. He coexisted with Chris Paul in Houston, shared the floor with Kyrie and KD in Brooklyn. He knows how to play with other ball-dominant stars. Atkinson isn't worried. As he put it, great players fit together. When you have high IQ players, it makes it a heck of a lot easier. Mitchell and Harden are already on the same page. According to Tony
This is
Jones
literally
of
what I just said,
and
bro.
Chris Fedor of Cleveland.com, the two spoke at length the night before the trade was finalized. By the end of it, both were convinced this was something they wanted. Mitchell made that clear publicly. He told Fedor, "We all know what he brings, but with that, there is an expectation of what we have to do. We weren't able to get it done for the past 3 years, and now the goal is to try and get it done. This is the time, got to go out and do it. Look, I know what you're thinking, and I'd be lying if I said this part doesn't matter. Harden's playoff history isn't pretty. Ever since the trade happened, his critics have come out in full force. And honestly, that's fair. Harden has never won a championship. Some of that comes down to bad luck and circumstances he couldn't control, but some of it is on him. Because as great as he's been in the regular season, he's built a reputation as one of the most unreliable superstars in big playoff moments. His career playoff averages of 22.5 points, 6.5 assists, 5.5 rebounds over 173 games. On paper, that looks solid, but the full picture tells a different story. Game 7s are supposed to be when stars step up. For Harden, it's been the...
Nah, man. I just feel like the team's failing him, bro. I feel like Harden, he's a great performer in the playoffs. I mean, everybody has an off game. They just trying to make it seem like my guy just real life selling the squad, bro. I feel like he didn't have no help whenever he went, especially against that Warriors squad, bro. Harden and who else, bro? Versus the Warriors. Harden and a bunch of nobodies versus the Warriors. I mean, what can the man do, bro?
Denver in a win or go home, Game 7, he scored 7 points on 2 of 8 shooting. The Clippers got blown out. Harden was invisible. Since 2020, he's played in 4 Game 7s. In those games, 13.8 points on 27.5% shooting and 16.7% from 3. In the regular season, over that same span, 23.5 points on 43% shooting and 36% from deep. That's not a small drop. And it's happened with Houston, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and the Clippers. 4 different teams, same result. It's not just Game 7s either. In elimination games in general, Harden has often gone missing. After that Denver loss, he didn't even speak to the media. He knew. But context is everything. While that playoff failure is part of his history, his first game in Denver playing for Cleveland told a different story. In a hard-fought regular season win, Harden was a key factor in beating the very team that had previously eliminated him, finishing with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks. It was a performance that suggested that with a new system and a co-star like Mitchell, the past may not be a prologue. That reputation is earned, which is why Cavs president Kobe Altman addressed it head-on. There's some elimination games that he probably wishes he had back. Probably 5 really bad games out of 173 playoff games. But overall, he certainly raises his level and raises our level. It's hard
That's
being
literally
the
what I
number
just
one
said,
option
bro.
on a championship level team. I think the
Word
good
for
news
word,
for
bro.
him is he has another number one option right next to him. That last point might be Cleveland's saving grace. A healthy Donovan Mitchell taking the pressure away from Harden might be the key to
Bro.
Cleveland's postseason success. Is
The
Mitchell
only thing holding them back is a Donovan Mitchell injury or James Harden injury. And if that happened, I take back what I said.
most talented teammate Harden's ever had? No. He's played with Durant twice, Kyrie,
Facts.
Kawhi, Chris Paul, all bigger names, but timing and health matter. In Brooklyn, Harden, Durant, and Kyrie were never healthy at the same time when it counted. With the Clippers, Kawhi was mostly sidelined. In Houston, CP3 was never the kind of explosive scorer Mitchell is. When those Rockets reached Game 7, Harden had to be the guy. In Cleveland, that won't be the case. His job is to organize the offense, control the pace,
Bro, he's
and
such
keep
a
Mitchell
buggy, bro.
fresh enough to take over late. That's a massive difference. The Cavs still have Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, two bigs who should feast off Harden's playmaking. They've got Jalen Tyson continuing to
Alright, that
emerge,
guy underrated too.
multiple weapons designed to punish defenses when Harden draws attention. That matters when the pressure rises. It gives Cleveland ways to survive Harden's worst nights. But make no mistake, this is still a massive gamble. Cleveland's betting Harden will defer when it matters, that he'll trust Mitchell as a closer, that his ego won't get in the way. The Cavs are banking on this time being different. Like his Brooklyn days, he'll let the more electric scorer carry the load when it counts most. And Cleveland didn't stop with Harden. By trading DeAndre Hunter, Lonzo Ball, and 3 second-round picks, the Cavs also brought in Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. And suddenly, this roster looks very different. Deeper, more balanced, and with more scoring punch off the bench. Schroeder is a proven vet. He's been traded 8 times, but that's never been about production. Teams view him as an offensive catalyst for the second unit. The Lonzo Ball experiment simply didn't work. The shooting disappeared. His three-point shot fell off a cliff. And without elite athleticism anymore, he couldn't get to the rim.
What was that?
Schroeder fixes that. In Sacramento, he averaged 12.8 points and 5.3 assists. He can create
I like
himself,
Schroeder, bro.
create for others, and he brings winning experience. He led Germany to both a FIBA World Cup title and a Eurobasket title. Then there's Keon Ellis. More of a wild card, he's a 26-year-old, undrafted, fourth-year wing. But the one thing you can count on is his defense. He ranks in the 95th percentile for blocks and 96th percentile for steals among wings. He's one of only 2 players in the league averaging at least 2 steals and 1 block per 36 minutes this season. He makes
He might
life
be nice.
miserable for opposing
He might be a
guards.
nice pickup.
Offensively, he's still developing, but he shoots it. He's hitting 41% from 3 for his career and 36.8% this season. That combination of defense and spacing
Knocked
is
down.
exactly what Cleveland's bench was missing. With Mitchell in his prime and the Eastern Conference wide open, Cleveland is sacrificing future stability for a real shot at winning now. Pairing 2 players with this level of production and experience gives them one of the most explosive backcourts in the league. The message from this front office is clear. They chose winning now over waiting. Cleveland isn't being patient anymore, they're going for it. This Harden trade is a declaration. Cleveland is telling the rest of the league they're serious about winning a championship. They're done waiting, done hoping things magically work out, done being patient. The pieces are finally in place. Now comes the hard part, because having the pieces and actually winning with them are 2 very different things. So what do you think? Do the Cavs have a real chance to make the finals this year? Let me know.
100%, bro. I'm calling it now. Your 2026 NBA champions, the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. And when it happens, come back to this video and subscribe. But that's the end of the video, man. Like I said, subscribe, comment. Comment if you think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to have a great season or win the finals. Or comment who you believe is going to win the NBA finals. And like the video, man, and I'm out.